haunting memory from your childhood. I can never forgive myself for what I did. There was this girl in my 6th grade class named Katrina who always smelled terrible. Like, really bad. The kind of smell that made you hold your breath when she walked by. Her clothes were always dirty and wrinkled, her hair was greasy and matted, and she never seemed to have lunch money. Sometimes she would fall asleep in class and the teacher would just let her sleep. Everyone avoided her like she had some contagious disease. She would sit alone at lunch, picking at whatever free meal the cafeteria gave her. Alone in class. Alone during recess. Nobody ever talked to her unless they absolutely had to for group work. The popular kids would make jokes about her behind her back, calling her stinky hose and pretending to faint when she passed by. Some kids would even hold their noses dramatically when she walked past. I wasn't popular, but I wasn't at the bottom either. I was just trying to survive middle school like everyone else, and honestly, I avoided Katrina too because I didn't want to become a target myself. I had worked too hard to build my reputation to risk it all for someone who clearly didn't care about herself. One day, our teacher assigned us partners for a science project, and of course, Katrina got paired with me. I was mortified. I could see the other kids snickering and whispering about how unlucky I was, how I got stuck with the weird, smelly girl. Some of them even said, "Better you than me," under their breath. I knew this was going to ruin whatever social standing I had worked so hard to build. When Katrina came over to work on the project, the smell was overwhelming. It wasn't just body odor. It was like unwashed clothes mixed with something sour and stale. I kept making excuses to open windows, suggesting we work outside on the porch, anything to get some fresh air. I was polite, but kept my distance, just wanting to get through it as quickly as possible so I could get back to my normal life. But Katrina was actually really smart, like scary smart. She understood all the complex chemistry concepts immediately, and had these brilliant ideas that I never would have thought of in a million years. While I was still struggling to understand the basic requirements, she was already 3 steps ahead, planning out experiments and calculations. She did most of the work while I just sat there, trying not to breathe through my nose, occasionally nodding and pretending I was contributing something valuable. After she left, I felt terrible about how I treated her, but I told myself it wasn't my fault she didn't take care of herself. I convinced myself that if she just tried a little harder, showered more, washed her clothes, maybe people would treat her better. I pushed down the guilt by blaming her for her own situation. The next week, something happened that changed everything. Katrina didn't come to school for 3 days straight, which was weird because she had perfect attendance. She was literally never absent, not even when other kids were homesick with the flu. On the 4th day, our principal came into our classroom during math and made an announcement that made my blood run cold and my stomach drop to the floor. She told us that Katrina had been removed from her home by Child Protective Services after a welfare check. Apparently, she had been living in a broken-down car with her mother in a Walmart parking lot. Her mom was severely addicted to drugs and couldn't take care of herself, let alone a child. They didn't have access to running water, electricity, or a place to shower. Katrina had been getting up at 5 a.m. every single day to walk 2 miles in the dark to a gas station bathroom just to try to clean up before school with paper towels and hand soap. Her mom would drop her off at school without breakfast and often completely forgot to pick her up, so Katrina would wait for hours outside in the cold and rain, sometimes until 8 or 9 p.m. The clothes she wore every day were the only ones she had, and she couldn't wash them anywhere. And our science project? She had specifically begged the teacher to be my partner because she thought I seemed kind. Instead, I spent the whole time making her feel worse about herself. I took all the credit for our project when we presented it to the class, even though she did literally everything. I never even said thank you. I'm a bad person. It's best to leave the world for good.